Good evening, folks, and welcome to another episode of the ARCA Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Evans. It is great to be back after we didn't have an ARCA race this past weekend, but we still have a preview show and a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So, again, guys, I thank you guys for joining me. As of course, our little intro. Follow me on social media at Start and Park Car. Follow the series themselves, ARCA Racing, at ARCA_Racing. The man himself, Brad Smith. We'll be talking about him a little bit later in the show as well. The NASCAR historian badass himself, Brock Beard, and the best NASCAR historian I know, NASCARMAN History. All their tags are in the link description below. Go follow them. They're my best friends, and they help make this channel possible. So let's get right into it. Main ARCA series, Charlotte. We didn't have a race last weekend, which was kind of sad. You know, we've been really going for a while. But let me tell you, man, and this actually going to go back to Kansas for just a quick second. I was talking with a couple of owners, man, and a lot of them were really happy for this week off. You know, I was talking to quite a few people in the garage area that were quite excited for that week off because, you know, for a series like this that doesn't have a lot of crew in it, a lot of money in it, for some of these teams, you know, going week to week to week to week to week can be very hard on these teams, especially the ones who are just barely scraping by. So in a lot of ways, although for us ARCA fans, while we didn't like the fact that we didn't have an ARCA race this past weekend, it actually was beneficial for some of these teams, you know, to, you know, have a weekend off, you know, spend time with their families, clean up the car, get some work done. So as much as we hate off weekends, they are necessary and we just have to deal with them. But we're right back to going this weekend at Charlotte, a home game for a lot of the teams. Some of them, of course, like Brad's all the way in Michigan, so it's not a home game for him. Wayne's from Tennessee, so it's kind of a home game, but most of the teams entered in this weekend home track, so it's not a huge haul for them. We got a lot of news to talk about today. We got a big show, preview show. Wish I was reviewing a race, but instead, guys, it's just a preview show. Well, you guys know I will be here to review it next week. So let's just get right into the entry list. The great news is I had received this news about the day before the entry list came out. I didn't look at the entry list. I just received the amount of cars that had gotten on there. And when they told me 26, I was extremely happy because, you know, as we know, Charlotte was one of the original tracks on the ARCA schedule. The last time, however, they went to Charlotte was 2004. Then the series came back in 2018. They received 30 cars in 2018, 24 in 2019, and 23 last year. They did not come here during the 2020 pandemic, even though I believe it was on the schedule. So it was very heartwarming to hear that we had more than that. The past two races, we have more cars here this weekend at 26. Very heartwarming to see. And a lot of contenders, you know, I mean, for the people who, you know, who watched ARCA last year, you know, I was here reviewing it, but let's face it, you know, guys, it wasn't always all that enjoyable. You know, for anyone who watched the 2021 race, you know, necessarily to say it was kind of boring. I'm not going to lie, it was. Ty Gibbs led flag to flag, pole to finish. Had a couple of starting parks. Nothing really happened. The only thing really memorable that happened in the race was, unfortunately, Jason Miles crashed one of Andy Hillenberg's cars. That was kind of the biggest thing about the whole race, I guess you could say. Because Ty Gibbs, I mean, you even look at qualifying from last year, he was over a half a second faster than the field. But it makes me really happy to say that when you look at this year's entry list, it's a lot better, man. A lot better. 26 cars. And I would easily say we got about 5 to 7 guys who have a legitimate chance of winning this race. Number 2 of Sanchez, the number 6 of Carruth, the 15 of Chase, the 18 of Dollar, the 20 of Heim, the 23 of Mosack, the 35 of Van Alst, the 43 of Daniel Dye, and I'll even throw in the 81 of Brandon Jones. I would easily say every one of those guys has a really good chance of winning this weekend's race. And yes, you heard in that statement, Brandon Jones is coming down to ARCA. He is a former winner at this track. He won with the now defunct MDM, not MBM, MDM Motorsports team back in 2018. And in fact, reported by the pit lane today is that Brandon Jones will also be running a part-time schedule in the number 81 car for now Kyle Busch Motorsports in the ARCA Series. As reported by the pit lane, Brandon Jones will run the 81 Menards Tide Toyota at 5 races, which include Charlotte, Iowa, Pocono, Watkins Glen, and Bristol. Now, Charlotte, I can understand, maybe it's just to, get some help with the team, have some fun. At the end of the day, experience is experience. Yeah, Brandon Jones has been in the Xfinity Series for a long time, but hey, everybody knows a few extra track time, wouldn't hurt. For all the Brandon Jones jokes about him crashing, I do agree, in my opinion, he's not the best, but I think you could easily say that he's gotten a little better. It's not like he's the same from like 2017 to 2020 where he was wrecking a lot. He actually has improved, in my opinion. He really has. And I think he actually is going to do a good job this weekend. The other races I could justify is that at Iowa, there's no Xfinity race that weekend. And maybe it's just he wants to run for fun. Because after the June 4th race at Portland, the Xfinity Series, I believe, will take a 2-week break. So you could understand that Jones maybe just wants to have some fun, run a race. And it's at Iowa. It's a fun track. Pocono, again, before the Xfinity race, just to get some extra track time. Again, never a bad idea. I would even say the same thing about Watkins Glen. Track time is track time. And Bristol, well, that's a beating and banging fest. Who doesn't love to run Bristol? Anytime anyone could run Bristol, we all agree is fun. I do agree with what people are saying in the chat. The Portland West race, I would easily expect quite a few Xfinity guys to be running that ARCA West race because any extra track time that you can get before anyone else is a huge advantage. Trust me. Doing iRacing at Portland in an Xfinity car, you get better experience running an ARCA car than an actual iRacing rig. That's just my take on that. But going back to the entry list, yes, we have a lot of guys who I think legitimately have a chance at winning this race, which is good to see. It's just like Kansas. You couldn't really predict the winner. And, even throughout the race, you couldn't predict the winner. We all thought Corey Heim was going to dominate it. And then Drew Dollar made sure that didn't happen. And of course, for the people who don't know, this is Drew Dollar's last confirmed race in the 18. Sammy Smith will be taking over the rest of the season as his birthday is coming up. So congratulations to Sammy Smith on an early 18th birthday because it is coming up very quickly. I believe it's June 4th. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I believe it's in June is his birthday. Some of the other notable entries in the field, Matt Wilson and Eric Caudell, they were not at Kansas, but they will be at Charlotte this weekend, so it'll be good to see them back. Sean Corn, Empire Racing, will be back this weekend, which is always good to see. Excuse me there. The 10 car for Fast Track Racing is currently unlisted as a driver, TBA. Tony Cosentino is listed in the 11. Hopefully he'll run the whole race. DL Wilson, who, remember, is trying to go full-time. I have not been told by Fast Track Racing crew guys. He's trying to put together a full-time schedule. As of now, they're going to keep going, but it's not confirmed yet whether DL will run the whole schedule yet. That's not been confirmed to me yet. When it is confirmed, I will gladly tell you guys, either on here or on social media. The other gals in the field, we got Tony Breidinger in the 25. Richmond Racing is officially back. They got a great sponsor this weekend in Circle Track Warehouse. I don't think they're going to necessarily have a winning car, and the only reason I say that is you're just not going to beat Venerini or Gibbs at a track like this. They have too much of an advantage and too much history at a track like this. They will be faster, but easily expect Tim Richmond to contend for a top 10 finish, at least. I will say that. Tony Breidinger, Tim Richmond, Amber Balkin, Ryan Huff is running his own car again this week in the number 36. Christian Rose for Bruce Cook Racing. I'm hoping this guy can just finish a damn race. For anyone who's been tracking all of the ARCA series this season, Christian Rose has had about as much bad luck as someone could have. He really has not been performing good at all. And it's not been all of his fault. It's been a mixture of crashes and bad luck. But I don't think this guy's even finished a race. And if he has, it's not been a very good run. So definitely expecting a lot out of Christian Rose this weekend, although I'm not sure if that's going to come, honestly. Of course, we got the man himself, Brad Smith. Always good to see Brian Dowsett back at the track. Will Kimmel is back again. This was supposed to be one of Scott Melton's races, but of course, Scott is still recovering from his leg injury. So that means Will gets to drive again. Will put up a very, very solid 6th-place finish at Kansas, and I really hope they can continue that with another top 15, top 10 finish, because anytime the Kimmels run well in the ARCA series, we're all happy. We're all happy to see that. The Pizza Man, Andy Jankowiak, again, crazy guy. Love to have him back in the series. 0-1 is also TBA as of now. Josh White will be making his first run in ARCA in definitely more than a couple years for Alex Club's 0-3 car. And, of course, Zachary Tinkle will be there with Peterson Motorsports running the same Chevrolet car they did at Kansas. Definitely a solid field of cars. The only start and parks I could see would be the 0-1 because that car's done a lot of the start and parking this season. Maybe the 10 at the same time. Definitely expect the 12 to go the full distance. The 11 of Tony Cosentino does have sponsorship listed. So I really hope that they have Tony run, because when he gets to run the car, he can actually run very quickly. And as far as I know, those might be the only 2 starting parks. Brad did run the whole race at Charlotte last year. Actually, if you guys know my friend, is DNF Racers online, comes out to the Midwest races a lot to help out with us. He's actually going to be there in Charlotte with Brad, so follow him on Twitter, and he'll hopefully be posting updates for us. If not, I'll try to get as many updates as I can myself. I don't think Brad's going to start in park. We ran the whole race last year. I think we're going to try again this year. So that would mean that out of our 26 entries, only 2 would be parking early. And that is something I like to see, the fact that we will have more cars running the full race in this event this weekend than we had more show up last year. And that is something I always like to hear. You don't want to hear less. You want to hear more. Sadly, though, speaking of less, up next, guys, we got the payouts here. And, man, I almost hate talking about this every week, but we had the opportunity to. First place is $10,000, but with all the contingency awards, if they are met, first place is actually $19,125 with the $200 Flow Racing money bonus. So it would actually be a final total of $19,325. Second place would be $8,700, and third place would be $5,400. Last place would be $1,400, but of course with the $200 bonus, it would actually be listed at $1,600. These are about the normal payouts. It actually looks exactly the same as Kansas in a lot of ways. A lot of the difference are separated by about $50. And then the lowest amount it looks like that people would be getting would be $1,400, which has been about the norm of this track at this track with the ARCA series for quite a long time. Does it suck? Yes. But you know what? We've been talking about this for a long time. They're not going to go back up. They're not going to go down. We've been through this a lot. It is what it is. Our point standing is definitely heading into this event. This is going to be an event to watch because we got a lot of cars here. Charlotte, is a track that, it can bite you. Coming off of turn 4, a lot of accidents come off of turn 4. A lot of accidents come off of turn 2. A lot of these guys cannot afford a bad run this weekend. The top 3 in points are very, very close. Sanchez and Carruth are, of course, tied, and Daniel Dye is right there, just 3 points behind. For anyone who still thinks that Sammy Smith can legitimately win the championship, it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. Sammy will be over approximately almost 200 points behind in the championship before he even starts. There is no logistical way that Sammy Smith could possibly win the championship. It will not happen. He'll win the East Championship probably, but he will not win the main ARCA championship. So stop saying that. Sorry I heard that. But yeah, so Sammy Smith will not win the championship. I'm just saying that. If you guys are wondering about the Owners' Championship, it is also a pretty close battle right now, as the number 20 Billy Venturini entry took a big hit after the crash at Kansas, now just has a 5-point lead over the 2 Max Siegel entries, the 2 car sitting in second and the 6 car sitting in third. It only has an 8-point lead over the Murray Gallagher 43 entry, which sits in fourth. The 15 Venturini entry sits in fifth, 19 points behind, and the Kyle Busch 18 entry sits 22 points behind in sixth. You think about that, 22 points, man. That's a lot. That's quite a bit, man. So for Kyle Busch to win his debut ARCA season Owners Championship, it's going to be a little bit of a task. Sammy is definitely going to be up for the task because that's the championship that they're going to go after. They know they don't have a shot at the main Drivers' Championship, but the Owners' Championship is going to be the one that they're going to go after. But that's still, you think about it, with the 20 running up there every week, it's really going to be hard for that 18 to get up there and clinch that Owners' Championship like they wanted to last year. So in terms of the race picks, guys, I tell you, I couldn't give you a race pick right now. I would easily say Corey Heim will probably be the car to beat. My underdog pick for the race, I'm going to go with, my underdog pick, guys. I wonder who do you think we should pick for an underdog pick? I'm actually going to go with Sanchez. Sanchez will be my underdog pick. You guys in the chat or in the comments can choose your underdog picks, but that's mine. Dark horse, I would easily say Brandon Jones because you never know what kind of speed he could have. At the end of the day, he's kind of got the advantage. He's got the most experience of everybody in the field in a lot of ways, so you would expect him to kind of be the dominant car of the weekend. So yeah, that's the preview. Some preview for Charlotte. Before we get more on that, I do want to go over some recent news that literally just broke the news a couple of minutes ago. ARCA driver Connor Mosek will be making his debut in the Xfinity Series at Portland for Joe Gibbs Racing. Yes, Connor Mosek. He drives, for anyone who's wondering, he actually drives full-time in the Trans Am circuit. So it would make sense that somebody like that JJ would want to put in the car. So for anyone who thinks that he's not going to be competitive, he actually will be more competitive than I think a lot of people who have really no idea who this guy is. It's an awesome opportunity for him, and I'm very happy for Connor. And this is literally the big break. You cannot screw up this opportunity. Top of the line equipment. I would easily say, like everyone says, you're in a Gibbs car to road course. If you don't finish top 10 or better, that's a bust, man. Like, you got to do good. But I expect good out of him because, like I said, he's been very, very successful in the Trans Am circuit. Hasn't picked up that win yet, but he's been very, very competitive. I also believe he's in the top 10 in the point standings in Trans Am. And for anyone who's wondering, in the TA2 division, there's over 35 drivers on a weekly basis. So being top 10 in points out of a field of 35-plus drivers, that's pretty good. So I'm very happy for Connor Mosek getting that opportunity with JGR, and hopefully it continues into the other road course races if he gives a good performance this weekend. Some other news that's not so happy. You guys may have seen him. He's commented here live on the show before. But apparently it was announced on the pit lane, excuse me there, guys, that Steve Austin is no longer with CCM Racing. And apparently his real name is Edward Brian Hudson, and apparently he's on parole. Some really not good things have come out about Steve Austin in the last couple days. And I'm not throwing any shade or slander towards this guy. I don't mean anything bad. I'm just kind of reporting what the pit lane has been reporting. But it looks like that, his driving career right now is kind of on hold. Some pretty not so good things, guys. I won't read it off here. You guys can go to the pit lane. You guys can look it up on social media if you guys want to. But some not so good things are happening right now for for Steve Austin. And you got to wonder, man, will this impact his possible 2023 ARCA opportunity ride? Again, we don't know that right now. That's just the beginning stages of it. But apparently, from what I've been told, this is not the first time something like this has happened with him. And who knows, man? But either way, not some so good news. We had some good news there, and then we have some bad news there. So yeah. Other news, I was told today, not I was told, but we did see tweeted out by Bob Pockris. I don't know if this is really going to hurt the ARCA series that much, but it does appear that NASCAR has sprayed down some resin and has run the tire dragon. Now, I don't understand this at all. Charlotte never had a problem, in my opinion, with racing. We never had a problem with cars going to the top groove. I don't understand why we're putting resin down. These ARCA cars will go all over the place. I would expect these Venerini cars and the Gibbs cars or Busch cars to run around the top almost the entire race. These cars will run all over the place. I don't understand. And same with the trucks, same with the Xfinity series. And I think the next gen cars will give us a really good 600. I don't understand why we need this resin. And I really hope it doesn't hurt the race, taking away the bottom line, because as we've seen before, the resin can actually hurt the race because everybody will just run up there and not run the bottom line. We've seen that before. So I'm hoping that it doesn't hurt the ARCA race and it doesn't hurt any of the other races. So it's another piece of news that I'm not so happy about because I don't want it to hurt the ARCA race. I really think ARCA is on a huge upswing this year. I do agree. At least it ain't PJ1, but still, we don't need anything. You think about it. I tweeted out the ARCA ratings. The Kansas race. Think about this, guys. The Kansas ARCA race got over 140,000 more viewers than it did last year. And you can't give me the argument whether it was on the same day for a truck race. They had the same layout as they did last year at that time. Like I said, the ARCA ratings are on the up. Car counts are on the up. This series is doing better. The main series, at least. The East series, The West series, okay. Not doing bad, but okay. But definitely the main series is on the upswing. And that's what we like to see. And I really hope this stupid resin does not kill what I think is really going to be a good race. Because when you think of Charlotte tire fall off, when you think of the bumps at Charlotte and how everyone starts the race on the bottom and then migrates to the top, I think it's going to be a very good Charlotte ARCA race. And we got enough cars out there. We have enough competitive cars that I really think will put on a good show for us. Hopefully they don't wreck. Everyone doesn't wreck. Because as we know, at some of these tracks, when you get people in cars that don't know what they're doing, sometimes they won't just crash. They will find a way to absolutely demolish the car. I don't know how we've seen that so many times. Not only do they crash, they will demolish the car. Even looking down the entry list, I don't see anyone who would do something that stupid, but it just makes you wonder, man, with 26 cars out there, will anything bad happen? I hope not. At the end of the day, crashes are a part of the sport. It just seems that this series is known for some outrageous crashes at bigger tracks. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect there, honestly. We do have some other sponsorship announcements, which is good to hear. Raja Caruth will carry a special paint scheme this weekend. The WSSU colors, the Winston-Salem Salute, student professional race car driver Raja Caruth will have a ride of a lifetime May 27th at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Caruth will pilot a WSSU-themed race car in the ARCA Menard Series General Tire 150 next weekend. This is a proud moment for the university, with Caruth being a member of Motorsports Management degree program. WSSU is the first and only HBCU to have Motorsports Management program, which began in 2007. The number 6 WSSU car has the WSSU Rams mascot and school letters boldly painted across the hood, as well as the rear quarter panels. The school's colors are intertwined across the entire car, with the quarter panels, door panels, all in the color red. Sorry, guys, I was trying to read that article to you. You can also check it out on the Rev Racing Twitter account. Raja Karuth will actually be racing a sponsored car. Well, he has had sponsorship in the past, but I mean an actual different colored race car. It's going to be kind of cool to see him in a red car again. It's just great to see Rev Racing with sponsorship. It's always good to see. Not much other for sponsorship announcements, of course. We do have some other announcements in terms of what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the season, but they don't really involve ARCA. In terms of what I expect out of this race, as you guys know, I compared this race to last year. We had a couple of cautions for the Hillenberg entries. But again, not much really happened. And I want to get your guys' opinion on this. For the couple of people that are watching with me, thanks again for tuning in live. I really want to get your opinion on this. What is your opinion so far on this season? Because I just talked about it a couple minutes ago, and I really want to get your guys' opinion on what you think this season has brought us so far. You know, a lot of people just love to bury this series, call it the Daddy's Money series, just absolutely trash it. And I know some people will never give this series a chance. But man, I will go on record as far as to say that the ARCA series has put on almost just as entertaining races as the truck series. Now, am I an idiot for saying that? I'll leave that for you guys to decide. But in my opinion, the truck series hasn't put on the best racing that we've seen them do. I almost think that the ARCA series has put on some better races than the truck races. You guys can call that how you want. But I will go on record saying that I thought the ARCA race at Daytona was better than the truck race at Daytona. Take out the crappy broadcast. I think the ARCA race at Daytona was better than the truck race at Daytona. I think the ARCA race at Kansas was better than the truck race at Kansas. You can call that how you want. But I think, honestly, the ARCA series deserves the ratings it's been getting. It deserves the upward spiral in viewership because I think it's been putting on a better on-track product than the truck series. And I think that's just because the truck series, with all due respect, really does not have a good field of drivers. And that's just my personal opinion. It really doesn't this season. ARCA's got some people who, you can call them Daddy's Money, but they actually, a lot of them know how to drive. I'm not kidding you. I mean, you can complain all you want, but people like Brandon Jones, he does know how to drive. It took him a while to really adjust, but I think he's actually developed into a solid driver. Andy Jankowiak, great driver. Will Kimmel, solid driver. Daniel Dye, solid driver. Greg Van Els, solid driver. Tim Richmond, solid driver. Connor Mosick, solid driver. We have a lot of solid drivers in the field that actually know what they're doing. You know? And like I said, and I just like in the chat, a lot of the guys who made ARCA a joke in the past are now in higher series, making those series a joke. So, like, don't crap on a series when the same guys who are doing the stupid stuff are now doing the same exact stupid stuff in the higher series. It's like, you don't give this series a chance. Like, I ask people all the time, okay, fine, you're not an ARCA fan. That's okay. Do you actually watch the product? And they say no. Then you can't, it's that classic thing. You can't crap on the product if you don't watch it. And they're like, and then they'll give me the example. Oh yeah, the one guy who won by 6 seconds at Michigan. You can't compare one dang Michigan race with 18 cars. Not every ARCA race is going to be a banger. Not every truck race is a banger. Not every Xfinity race is a banger. That is true. Not every Xfinity race is great. About 90% of them are, but not every single one is. So again, that's just my thing, guys. Like, and you look at those ratings. I compared the truck ratings to those ARCA ratings from Kansas. The truck race only got about 250,000 more viewers. Now that might be a lot, but in reality, that's a lot closer than probably some people expected it to be. And if we can continue that trend, we might be close to getting up there with the truck series in terms of ratings. And that's what I want us to see. Because let's face it, guys, the ARCA series on the short tracks, where it should stay, has been putting on some decent races. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am for Iowa. We have a couple of solid East-only entries that will be coming over. I think that Iowa East race, combo race, will be an amazing race. I am so excited for that one. Same at like Mid-Ohio. I think they're going to put on a good show at Mid-Ohio on the road course. If I'm an ARCA fan, if you guys watch this show, I would definitely be excited about the rest of this season. And honestly, I really want you guys to compare what you guys see this season to the Truck Series. And at the end of the day, really think to yourselves, is this series as big of a joke as people say it is? And I will say, no, it's not. You can say it doesn't develop people anymore. That's a load of crap. A lot of people who are right now running in this series, you will see in the Xfinity and Truck Series within the next 4 years. And some of them, I could easily say, some of these guys will make it to Cup. That's kind of a bold decision to say, but could we see Raja Caruth in a Cup ride? You damn right I see Raja Caruth in a Cup ride. You think we see Nick Sanchez in a top-tier Xfinity ride? You damn right I see it. I could easily see Nick Sanchez driving for Junior one day. I could easily see it. He's got the talent for it. Guys like Corey Heim. Corey Heim, I could see him being a Gibbs developmental driver in the Xfinity Series. This series has talent. Tim Richmond. Give Tim Richmond in a Venturini car. And Tim Richmond, he might not be as flamboyant as the Tim Richmond from the 80s, but he's got a lot of talent. This series has talent that has not really been discovered as much. And that's my biggest gripe. If we could put more effort into this series, give more backstories about this series, we could get some more people, get some more eyes on these guys that actually know what the heck they're doing. Man, I'm sorry to rant there, guys, but that's just my opinion, and it's some people can disagree with it, and some people probably will disagree with it. But I feel like this series just gets crapped on too much because we really do have some real talent in the series. And I'm just going to say one more time, if you really think that the Peterson entry is crap this year, just remember, Zachary Tinkle out-qualified on used tires, not stickers, used tires, out-qualified a Venturini entry and a Ready Motorsports entry on stickers. Remember that. So I think Zachary Tinkle also deserves a lot of love, and he's highly underrated. So there's talent in this series from the top-tier cars to the bottom-tier cars. And I think this weekend's race is really going to show us a lot of the future of this sport, and I'm very, very excited for it. I don't even remember who I picked to win the race. I believe I picked Heim to win the race. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. As right now, guys, the top three in the championship, like I said, are separated by just 3 points. Honestly, I know people want Caruth to win the championship, but I really think that Caruth's I really think when it comes to the Drivers' Championship, Caruth is going to struggle on the road courses. I could easily see Sanchez pulling away on the road courses. I think that's where Caruth is going to kind of lose it. You never know. You never know. But we've never really seen Raja drive on a road course. Whereas when we've seen Dye, I believe he's driven on a road course before. Sanchez drove on the road courses last year. That's an advantage, man. And I think it's going to be just that little advantage that's going to get him by in the championship. But anyway, guys, that is kind of the Charlotte preview. I'm, again, very excited for this weekend's race. Everything just seems to be on the upswing for this series, which is something we all love to see. A race, again, 2 weeks in a row. Or 2 races in a row, 2 races in a row, you like to know that coming into this weekend's race, you can't pick the winner. And that is something I love about this series. Now, we are now in a state of this series where going into these weekends, you can't pick the winner. Trust me, guys. You guys can pick Corey Heim because you guys think he might be the fastest car. But look at Kansas. You never know what's going to happen. And I like that. I like the fact that now you can't just pick someone and assume they're going to win and lead every lap. Whew, what a show, guys. I thank you guys for joining me. Not sure if I'm forgetting something right here. I don't want to forget real quick. Again, guys, it is Friday, this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be kind of an early race. Remember, we got the truck race that night, too. We actually got Xfinity qualifying, truck race, truck qualifying. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on Friday. So, if you're a race fan on a Friday night, you got everything you would want. And, of course, if Tyler, I want to give a little shout out to Tyler Head. Your stuff is in the mail. Again, guys, we're at 278 subs. I cannot thank you guys enough for that support. Let's get that number up there. Got some more fun content videos out there. I really hope you all enjoyed the Eric Martin video. I got tons and tons of positive reviews out of it. So I strongly suggest you go check it out. If you guys have never heard of the Eric Martin, you guys have seen the crash. Just type in Eric Martin on Google. You'll see the crash and you'll be like, oh, well, I made a documentary about it. It tells the story of who Eric Martin was and some statistics behind the crash. I strongly recommend it. I was blown away at the positivity of that video. And if you guys haven't watched it yet, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give that a like and, leave a comment if you want. I got more fun ARCA videos coming out. Some that'll tug at the heartstring, but I want to bring some history out in this series that some people in the YouTube racing committee haven't brought out yet. And of course, guys, got some other races coming up. It's going to be a busy month of June for your boy, and I'll be happy to take you guys. If you guys are willing to come on the journey with me, I'd love to have you guys with me as well. So till next time, thanks again for joining me for the preview show. Like I just said, like and subscribe for more. Check out my other videos. Keep loving the ARCA Racing podcast. Enjoy the race this weekend, and hopefully Drew Dollar doesn't wreck out. Anyway, guys, you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and we'll catch y'all on the fly. Keep up on my timeline, and just love ARCA. So long, guys. Love y'all.